Drawing with the mouse. Kind of fun. Kind of crazy though. Oh, whoops. I hate it when it does that. Like, I feel like every time I draw things, I'm like leaning on the same shapes and stuff, like for shoes and stuff like that. Buster said, yeah, definitely recommend using a tablet. Yes, I agree. I should get one. Well, I have one. I should just try to get it working on here. Yeah, I just recently finished this sketchbook. And there's some stuff in here that I really like how it turned out, so that's cool. I did this thing. It's like a collage of all the Finns. He's like one of the OC original characters that I designed. And then I made like this for like a Legend of Zelda story that I did. And then these were some characters. I made some characters kind of inspired by like Animal Crossing and animals. I should make another like camera thing that's like just like the camera, at least bigger. This is the cool guy with the big eyebrows. Buster said, nice putting in the work. Thanks. Yeah, I feel like comparatively, oh nice. Things are going much better. Oh no, I'm sorry. Things are going much better with drawing traditionally than digitally, especially since I'm drawing with the mouse right now. I started doing this thing with like clothes, and maybe I should stop doing it. I was just trying to add in like kind of like the ruffles of clothes, but most clothes don't really have that. So it's like I think part of it is just like I took one digital illustration class, but other than that, no one really ever taught me digital art. So all the learning that I've been doing is like on YouTube, and sometimes it can be kind of disjointed. Anyhow, writing has been really fun. It's been cool. Now the goal is to make art more fun too. Like, you know, like, it's also hard sometimes just like getting, not necessarily motivation, but the only word I can think of is like direction or clarity. Because if you're like, I want to make a comic, but then there's all these little steps that go into that, you need to break it down, that big goal down into. Because like I think about it, and I would love to make another comic, and I've actually written like this comic that I did. I've actually written like more stuff, like more script for the episodes. I just haven't done the art part because I think it's become more tied to like identity maybe. Um, but something else that just like I would love to collaborate with people more on things, but I feel like I want my art to be in a better place before that happens. But I don't know, that might just be, yo, Buster's working hard, getting cool stuff done. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Nintendo Power and the Game Boy. My brother used to get those magazines. I remember that. There's a thick cassette tape. Yeah, and then I did these like one-eyed dudes because I was like, I just need to stop drawing the same like characters again and again. I gotta do something different. Lester said, what do you feel you need to get better at? So I've done a lot of thinking about this. One thing that I know I do a lot is like I draw from my imagination kind of to a fault sometimes, I think. So stuff isn't like, it might be appealing, but it's not anatomically correct or whatever. When I like look at it, like the things that I kind of came down to that I'm like, if I study these, then I'll be more confident drawer, more confident like artist. And those are things like studying anatomy and like figure drawing from life, like going out and drawing more stuff like out and about. And then hands is one of those things. Because I feel like a lot of the art I want to do is related to like characters and stories. And I have ideas and I've written them down. So I don't think coming up with ideas is necessarily the issue. Like if I have like this idea, I want these two characters, Xander and Finn, to be in a metro, like drinking boba, and then there's like some like fantasy like or like little spirits and stuff in the background, and I have an image in my mind of what that is, and then it's like that gap of like trying to get there. So I think like draftsmanship, just being a better and maybe just like better line work. Another thing that I'm like, maybe I'd be better at this way of making art is kind of like digital painting. Like when you see like concept art and stuff, it's not done usually with a lot of line work. The line work is kind of just like a rough layout, and then most of the art is done in like painting with shapes rather than drawing lines. So I've thought about that. Yeah, those are some things I feel like I need to get better at. And then things not necessarily related to art, but like time management and project management. Like I looked at this thing with like, because I wanted to make an animated short, and the thing that I'm like, this is what I need. What was it? It's like some type of like pipeline manager, like just making sure that things just keep going. Buster said, the old axiom is you learn the skill of drawing, then you can draw anything. Learning to measure and gauge proportions is really the most fundamental skill, I think. Yeah, that's a good point, a good axiom. Yeah, you learn the skill of drawing, then you can draw anything. Learning to measure and gauge proportions is really the most fundamental skill. Maybe I need to get better at measuring and gauging proportions. Yeah, this stream has just kind of turned into me talking about my art issue or holdups, I guess. The old axiom is you learn the skill of drawing. That's an interesting thing, just like mentally, because sometimes as artists you feel like you can't, like, I feel like I haven't done a lot of super cool, like, amazing drawing type stuff since like the stuff that I did in college, and of course it's easier to do it with a project, but at the same time I feel like I've grown as an artist, and like things with like art and drawing hands I've gotten better at, even though I didn't draw any hands here. It's really cool. There's a hand. That's a good way of looking at it, though. I know that definitely part of it is just like a mental struggle that I need to overcome. Because like I've made art that, and I still make art that I like how it turned out, and I feel like I want to make that next step. That's a good point. Just learning the skill of drawing, then you can draw anything. And that's true too with just like, especially with, if you want to learn how to draw something better, like draw that thing more and using reference. Buster said, your stuff is there stylistically. Some artists establish themselves more on style than on technical ability, so it's really up to you what you want. Yeah, that's true. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Because the mind is an interesting thing. Sometimes you can really tell yourself a lot of lies and doubt yourself a lot. Lester said, like, I like to exaggerate with my foreshortening and stuff, and I find being too accurate can be boring. See, like, that's one thing that I think is why I haven't, like, leaned towards realism, is, like, you know, like, the hyper-realistic. I'm like, why don't I just have a photo? Like, I've